Hey, this is the 808 Thug Little HENJIN, and in this commentary, this time we're going to be talking about the best underrated movies nobody is talking about. I am the 808 Thug Little HENJIN, and this is the 808 commentary. Let's begin. A movie that nobody talks about that is clearly underrated, Dirty Work. Dirty Work is a comedy movie that is extremely funny and an underrated film. It is starring Norm Macdonald and Artie Lang. It's about two brothers that didn't know they were related that used tactics to get back at people that bullied them or just straight criminals, or that shit on the little guy, but in the most unapologetic funny way. There's a few cameos in this film like Don Rickles, Adam Sandler, Gary Coleman, and Chris Farley. The main plot in the film was to get enough money for their dad to survive from his illness by using a thing they call dirty work, which is when they sabotage or expose people for money. They do odd jobs in their way of doing things. This film leaves me in tears every time I watch it because the jokes were unhinged and the randomness of it. My favorite scenes was when Norm gets diddled in the jail cell, Don Rickles' movie theater scene with a Men in Black parody gag, and then the scene where Norm and Artie Lang characters get high trying to get money, and then there's the cameo of Gary Coleman and Adam. The movie is very underrated, but is a comedy that should get more recognition. Next underrated film, I Spit on Your Grave. It's a film starring Sarah Butler, and she plays a character that comes to a specific town where she ends up getting tortured and raped. I know, you're probably like, what the hell no? I don't think I want to watch that. It was actually an interesting film. Sarah Butler plays a character that comes to a specific town where she ends up getting tortured and raped, and then in a similar way to Jigsaw from Saw, she seeks revenge and kills them all in a very Saw 1 type manner. This movie is very creative, and this is a horror movie, and it's very dark. However, the film was actually great. I was strangely creeped out, but the acting and the approach to the story was very interesting. There's sequels to this movie, but I only seen the first one, so I'm recommending watch I Spit on Your Grave. It's a very underrated film. The next underrated film, From Paris with Love, starring John Travolta. This film was an exciting film that was very entertaining. Bald Travolta as a CIA agent. This film that does not get enough attention. It has great moments. Travolta is the character Charlie Wax with another agent that wanted to be accepted as a CIA agent. His girlfriend turns out to be the secret main antagonist, and Travolta and the other actor, Jonathan Myers, have great chemistry in this film. And John Travolta was badass and hilarious throughout the whole entire film. It's a really overlooked film, and it was very interesting to me. Another underrated film is Taxi with Queen Latifah and Jimmy Fallon. Queen Latifah plays a taxi driver that is obsessed with cars, and she has a modified taxi, and she ends up crossing paths with the world's shittiest cop, Jimmy Fallon's character. He's trying to solve a bank robbery mystery. There's a bank robbing trio, and he needs the help of Queen Latifah's Belle. The hijinks in this film was pure comedy, and I don't see it get enough praise. The overprotective boyfriend, the funny Queen Latifah, Jimmy's quirky, idiotic personality, and him trying to rekindle his relationship with his ex, who is now his boss, Fallon's character's kooky, funny mother, and the bank robbing women that they later figure out who were the ones robbing the banks that they thought were men, they catch at the end of the film in a creative way. With everybody in the main cast efforts within the film, this film was very great and very interesting. Fuck 12, but this was a good movie. The last underrated film is What's the Worst That Could Happen, starring Martin Lawrence and Danny DeVito. In this film, Martin Lawrence plays a con artist. He goes around doing different cons. He falls in love with this girl in a con where he was still in a painting. So on one of his cons, one of his robberies, he robs Danny DeVito's character's house, and he gets caught during one of the robberies. And Danny DeVito's character pretty much, robs him during the robbery. And this starts a whole huge thing and hijinks throughout the movie, which is the plot device that drives this movie. into a crazy spectacle of the battle of the egos between the characters to one-up each other over a ring stolen off of Martin's finger during the job that he did on Danny DeVito's character's house. There's a lot of great scenes in this film, and Bernie Mac was in this movie. Many quotable lines, and DeVito's a rich asshole. Martin is a con man that falls in love, and DeVito is in a complicated marriage, and that plays major roles in the storyline. It was naturally funny, and there was a lot of chemistry between all actors, and the antics throughout the film makes it a 10 out of 10 underrated film. If you have never seen What's the Worst That Can Happen, please watch that film. It's definitely a 10 out of 10 film, and it's definitely underrated. All of these films in a way have replay value. If you can find these films, go watch them. They're very underrated and fucking good. This has been the 808 Thug Little HENJIN with the 808 commentary. See you next time.